Getting ready to go live here in just, well, we are live. Getting ready to get the campaign started here in just a minute or two. Getting a tweeter-rooney out there. The next episode of the Vice. This month. Benefiting at Holland Opus Foundation. Come join the adventure. Hey, Wandering. Come on. F Fund. Yes. Come join the adventure. Venture and participate in our campaign with your donation. How are you doing today, Wandering? Danny, Daniel, Dragons, Good Guy, Bird, Jeanette, Alicia, Cloak and Blaster, Tweet. There we go. Huh. I claim we're all set now, or sort of set. How's everyone doing out there? I forgot to turn on my kettle after I put water in it, so that's why I was running a little bit late. I think I've got all the things and stuff and things ready to go. Maybe not. I got one little thing that I should have done. I forgot to. No. Interesting. Okay. Well, I thought that was going to be a drag and drop. It wasn't. So we'll just see how that goes. Anyway. Oh, man. Yeah, we should have some excitement today. That's for sure. Hope we do. I'm still getting everything all fun and exciting and set to go. We got lots of great prep and notes that we did over the course of the week on the DM's desk, so that was good for me. It certainly made my life a little bit easier. Of course, then I did forget to do this one thing that we had talked about. That I talked about getting prepped and ready, and completely forgot about it. But I can wing it if I need to. I'm not too concerned. One of the things I do need to do is put in our bits, because we cracked over the limit. So we have a new $100 going into the spell bank. So man, poor Bird's having all kinds of internet issues. Yeah, we're gonna be a bit jumping around. We got a couple players who are not on their normal connection, so we're gonna just do the best we can. Seems like my music might be a little bit hot. Is it feeling a little hot to those out there listening? A little better. I've also got my volume on my speakers turned up a little bit. But yeah. Cool. Well, I just turned it down a little bit. If it's gotten too soft, let me know. I usually try to have it hitting right around. You know what? I double dipped. I turned it down and then turned it down. So let's see how it does now. Hey, Kent. How you doing out there? I'm ready for some Vice. I'm ready to play some of this stuff that we got all prepped up and ready to go during the week. That is for darn sure. I need to get out the old treasure chart because we're going to need to roll on that. Scrolls by level. You know, I haven't updated these with the new spells. Oh, I'm wondering how I can do that easily on the fly. Because my site that used to have a nice, good Excel exportable list is no longer. Let's see what happens there. If it's still 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It is 20 per. So maybe we'll do it that way, so we can have all the spells in there. So, yep, we will do that. Woohoo! Hey, Shuggy Pixels, and Stumpomatic with the subscription. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, so we've got all the fun stuff that we prepped, so that's nice. Over the course of the week, thank you for everyone who stopped in on the DM's desk and played with us and had a good old time and helped me develop all kinds of fun things. I might be winging it on one thing. I'd hoped to get it into a character sheet, but I thought it was a drag and drop, so I was going to do it right before the for the session, and it's not. Roll20 doesn't have that monster in it, so if I just need to open up D&D Beyond and do it from there, that's what we'll do. Woo! Hey, Wandering. Getting my summer gains back on. I was out walking earlier this morning. Got to get lean down, show those cuts, show off those winter gains. But, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the stuff that we've got prepped up and set to go. So, we got that. Like I said, we're going to be bouncing around a little bit internet-wise, but I think we'll be fine. Before all's said and done, we'll be good. We're missing a Templar Warden. I wonder where he is. He's usually right. He's usually on time. But if we have to start a little bit late, or if we have to start without him and then pop over, that's not a big deal. Because I've got the secret now. Oh, did this not update? I told it to update my... Oh, because I'm not on my live station. That's why. I'm in playback mode. There we are. It's like, that's why I don't see myself on the screen. It's been that kind of day, folks. I tell you, this morning I watched the end of Star Wars Rebels. Oh, that was good. That's now like my Star Wars fandom is Rebels, even more so than I think probably more so than even the original was. I mean, I was never huge Star Wars. I was pretty big Star Wars, but not huge Star Wars. But Rebels, man, I like that story.
Samsung phones, in which case it's not a micro USB.
Light. Okay.
Just to show you
how
how
is
to
it?
deal with.
Is it mini USB now?
No, it's like
bird
something
shooting birds.
C or something.
Things I put up with. My cast getting uppity in the back room. Hey, New Titans, how you doing? Yeah, I don't think Bird knows what I did yet. Oh man, he's coming in on his, he's shooting his birds because he's doing it on his phone. He's zooming in on his phone because his internet's so crap. Oh man, Poor guy. There is nothing quite worse than that. Cool. We'll see you back in a little bit, Stump-O-Matic. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And yeah, make your wife something good so when she gets home from work. There's a Templar Warden. Cool. So, in just a few minutes, we'll pop over to those folks and we'll get ourselves started. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you guys, for those of you who joined in, we had a great time on DM's desk. Boy, I wish I could do that every day. I had the best darn time prepping this week with everyone giving me their little pieces of input. And we've got, like I said, I doubt we're certainly not going to make it through all the stuff we've prepped. I'm not even sure if we're going to make it to where we thought we were going to make it because my cast, man, they're going to want to RP off of some of this stuff that's going on. I'm sure. I know that they're going to be all into RP and some of this stuff. So I am going to let them know that we're about 2 minutes out. About 2 minutes out, folks. Unless, of course, you count when I switch the cameras over so everyone could see birds shooting birds. But, yeah, no. So that's a little bit of how I prep. I do believe that it all sort of starts with the music. And, we move on from there. Speaking of which, I need to switch us back to our March of the Mind as we get ready for our cast to come back in. Get them ready for this next little bit as they pull away from the village. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you here, and I will be jumping over there, and I'll be with you in just a second, guys. Enjoy the show.
Well, that's because you're so much younger now.
There we go. And I think we got everyone here. And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves and get started with the fun and excitement. I know Bird's working on some stuff. So
Bird's having fun.
Yeah, Bird's having a blast. I can tell. Sorry, dude. We are going to go ahead and get folks in their right normal places. And so we'll start with Celia. We'll start with a tree-hugging druid. Templar Warden with a subscription.
I am tree-hugging druid. I play Slayer Ruler, and I'm in pain today, so Celia is going to be in pain today.
Oh man, why are you in pain? Workouts or did something happen?
No, yesterday I had an IUD and now I don't.
Oh, there you go. Yes, so yeah,
So
you are feeling it. So next up we have Kyle, Dragons or Cats?
Coming to you from the largest satellite in the southern hemisphere, Dragons and Cats is sharing a room, and I am in this bad, rundown motel. And as you can see, I have to be a little quiet, so please excuse me, but I am playing Ishk, the 11th Warlock. And it's going to be a fun session. I was going to say something cooler, but I couldn't think of it.
Oh man. So yeah, we got internet, we've got people in little tiny rundown motels. It's gonna be one of those D&D sessions. But you know what? We're all here. We're gonna have fun. I don't think anyone's gonna die. Maybe. We'll see. Next up we have Templar Warden.
Hello. I am Employer Warden. I was playing Hidden by Axel today. I stayed up till midnight, so I'm a little tired, but it's so cool. I'm looking forward to the session. Hopefully, Axel can read a book. And, yeah.
Very, very cool. Next up, we have Bird versus Plane. Bird versus Internet.
Hi, Swearjar. It's gonna be a fucking day. I'm Bird versus Plane. I'm playing Iskatul, the half-elf bard / gunslinger, singer of the fates, all that stuff. I got a spider named Charlotte. I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Next up, we have NNG9.
Hello, I'm the illustrious NNG9. I play Luna, a water genasi monk who's concerned. Yeah, concerned.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. That works. Next up, we have Good Guy Pie.
I am Good Guy Pie. I am a master of minimizing things as soon as my name is said. As well as that, I will be playing totally sane, totally normal. Everything is fine. I insist on it. Luck! Oh, no, wrong voice. Luck Goldheart. Adventurer extraordinaire.
New in his new young 22-year-old incarnation.
I tell you, this voice, hard to nail down.
Oh, love it. And last but not least, our buddy Danny Toonarth.
I am Toonarth. I'm playing Kel, the Wood Elf Druid, who is still trying to deal with a series of extremely traumatic incidents. I am wearing black in mourning for my life cleric, who sadly perished Wednesday night at Adventurers League in the climactic battle in the Tomb of Annihilation.
It happens.
I mean, splat.
Yeah.
Dead. It's hard to survive 140 points of damage when you only have 57.
Yeah, that's a little tough.
So I don't know if I'll end up alive again or not next week. So, and who knows how many of us will remain alive at the end of today.
It's gonna
But
be fine.
everything's fine. What are the odds?
So one of the things I do need to put in is bits. We have reached another 100 milestone, 100 bit, or I guess it's $100, a 10,000 bit milestone.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for that.
All the bits.
And it's a total
yay,
bit
bits.
storm.
So that adds $100 to our
Nice.
to our donation. So for all those who've been donating bits over the course, they do build up. And when we ever get to one of those, when they build up to be $100, we're now at $700 in bits that we've gotten over the course of the life of our show. And so that puts us with a new spell in the spell bank. It's just a level 1 because we've had a lot of donations going to actual donations. So, and we're going to use the full new expanded spell list, including all the Xanthar stuff. So Axel, roll me a D4 first. On a 1. Okay, now roll me a D20. 14. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Good old oldie but a goodie. Charm person.
That's useful.
Cool. If we reach $200, we'll go to a level 2 spell in the old spell bank. And thank you, everybody who has donated along the way for the spell bank. We've already turned in one spell from this month when we hit upon See Invisibility. And so our party has already decided they were going to take that. That's why it seems like it's a little bit low here at the end of the month. But See Invisibility, for what they're dealing with right now, is probably not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So, let's get back into it, shall we? Our party spent spent the night in a cave previous night after a huge storm hit the highlands. Yeah, I just realized it wasn't either. I forgot to put it on loop. So after escaping from east in a sort of harrowing escape from a netherwing dragon attack, our party made it out onto the highlands only to have a huge storm come barreling in down upon them. So they went and sought shelter within a cave. Several very sort of traumatic things happened. Tunarth, Danny, Kel, whoever he's playing, Kel, our druid realized that the cursed ring that he had gotten from his brother back in the Vice was in fact acting upon him, seemingly destroying his wild shapes. And so after trying to turn into his polar bear shape and then his brown bear shape, they basically just emerged as dead corpses on the ground next to him. Axel seems to be suffering from a Vice magic surge that is having detrimental effect on him physically. And Luck Goldheart, newly transformed, literally half his age, had sort of a harrowing mental excursion when he went into the ring to rest, seemingly somewhat starting to lose himself. The party mustered through the night, and the next morning made it out on their mounts, heading back down, trying to find their way to this pathway, this shortcut to Falcon's Crest, known as Smuggler's Gambit. In the process of searching for this pathway, they encountered a strange-looking creature that was off in the distance and seemed to be worrying over something that it was doing, covered in bones and spikes and spines. Celia went to investigate, found out that this was actually a young tabaxi that, through the process of a Vice surge, had all of his fur turned into fangs and teeth, and was known as 1,000 Teeth. He led them to a village of sort of surge outcasts, people who had been transformed by the Vice, and whose village had been pretty heavily damaged by this storm as well. They decided to assist, help them get their village put back together, in trade for both 1,000 Teeth taking them to the entrance of Smuggler's Gambit, and as an added bonus, their leader, known as One of Many, gave them a very interesting gift of steel cable made from a magical being's or a surge victim whose hair, whenever cut, would turn into whatever material it was cut with, and had braided this rope and then must have apparently cut it off with some sort of steel blade to then make it like steel cable, almost 50 feet of it. The party, eager to get on their way in early afternoon, head out of the village. We capture them now just as they leave. 1,000 Teeth sort of at the lead of the party. Just as they are leaving, people are behind them are sort of getting moved back into homes that might have lost their roofs. There is still a slight drizzle coming down, as often is the way in the Highlands. There are still other storms around, even though they're not currently over top of them, and the sound of thunder still echoes across the landscape as they leave. As you are leaving, let's see. Yeah, Kel, with your passive perception and alert, you sense someone running up behind you from Black Cliff Village. Seems like a small figure, and they're carrying something in their hands. And he is sort of running up towards the party.
I tell Luck to stop. stop his mount so that whoever it is can catch up to us.
This young boy, probably only maybe 10 or so, doesn't appear to have any sort of issues that many of the other members of the village had, and out of breath just runs up to you and looks up to you, Kel, and goes, one of many wanted to thank you for the gift, and he didn't have them with him, but once he got back to his house, he wanted me to run these out to you. And the boy hands up to you, Kel, a pair of boots. They are of Sailsu design, beautifully made, supple leather, almost more like gloves than boots. So there would still allow someone to feel contact with the earth or climbing the cliffs. You are familiar with this type of footwear, often used to climb the cliff sides of the Sailsu village. And the boy just sort of gives you a sheepish grin and hands them up to you.
Kel takes them. Please tell one from many. Thank you. Thank you for this precious gift.
These are boots of striding and springing from a generous donation from our group back when you rolled on the table. That's what you rolled from the wondrous item table.
I don't even remember that.
I haven't written down who it was. Yep. You know what? Oh man, where's my? From a. It is from. Oh, it was from Templar.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Wow. We also have.
Yeah, that's a recent donation, apparently, from
yeah, I just saw that. There it is. It just popped through. $14 advantage to every player. Thank you, Caraman.
Thank you.
Yeah, it takes a second sometimes for it to come through, especially with the delay. So there, you should be seeing it any second now. And then the boy,
are these in the compendium?
I don't know if
in
they're
Roll20.
I know they're in Beyond. I don't know if they're in the compendium.
Just to get them into Roll20.
Yeah.
Well, if you can give me the stats later.
Yeah, it's just real quick. Basically, what it is it? Well, let me just pull it up. And I'll cut and paste it into the chat so you can pull it out. And
and also, real quick, Templar, were you rolling your portent? Because I know you did that before.
Yeah, because you got a nat 20.
Yeah, no, I haven't rolled since then.
But we're still the same day.
Yeah, same day.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering what the 1 and the 14 were about.
Yeah. You should have stood on the one from when we woke up this morning.
I don't. Oh, the one in 14 was the rolls for the spell.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Gotcha.
I have a macro for my portents.
Let me get these for you real quick. The boots of striding and springing. While you wear these boots, your walking speed becomes 30 feet unless your walking speed is higher. Your speed is not reduced if you're encumbered or wearing heavy armor. In addition, you can jump 3 times the normal distance, though not further than your remaining movement would allow.
Cool.
There you go. The boy then sort of wanders over to you, Luna, and kind of pets Carrot and just says, "Thanks for helping my mom and dad with their roof. We're new to the village, and our house wasn't quite finished, so the storm hit pretty hard. Thank you." And just sort of,
I do not require things.
Mom and Dad always said I should thank people when they're nice. So whether you want it or not, thank you. And he just sort of pats and kind of skips off back to the village. I assume you guys want to head on your way. So the path from where you spotted 1,000 teeth kind of leads over to the west and then rounds, as you had seen before, sort of rounds around an outcropping. And it's here that you see that the terrain just becomes far more fractured than it had been before. The number of these outcroppings that you had seen before seems to increase all but exponentially, and there are lots of different little pathways between them that wind down, almost like sort of a naturally, if anyone's familiar like with auroras, where you just sort of get lots of little paths between the different rocks. However, this is sort of green and verdant. It is sort of a naturally made, almost like a river delta would be, but made out of these rock outcroppings. Even the runoff here that you had been following before makes multiple sort of stream beds and branches out in many different directions. And it's pretty obviously pretty quickly that it would have been difficult to find your way here without a guide. 1,000 Teeth sort of points out different pathways. He's like, and that one over there, that's a dead end now, but you used to be able to go that way. See, because you can't go there anymore. The rocks fell. And then this next one over here, it's just full of branches and trees and briars. It's terrible. I mean, I could cut it through. And he sort of looks at Celia, kind of like showing off a little bit. I could cut it through, but it's kind of hard. And so we probably should go a different way. And then that way there just kind of goes to a dead end, and it's a whirlpool. And just all the water that flows down there just disappears right down. And he just, so Celia, so you're a high elf, right? Where are you from?
Let me go notes.
I am from.
Yeah.
Celia's a little fanboy.
He gave her a knife, a tooth sharpener.
Celia smiles. She says, I was born in Falvinari.
Wow, really?
But I was raised in Zephyrbrook.
Oh, okay. Where's Zephyrbrook? Is it nice? Do you like it? Was it fun?
Zephyrbrook is on the other side of the Vice.
Oh, wow. So does everyone braid their hair that way over that way? I really like your hair. It's really nice.
No, it just helps keep it out of my face.
Oh, okay. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And he just kind of keeps sort of nattering on about you. And down there's a really pretty waterfall. It's kind of romantic. And then he just keeps going along. And then he finally, if Celia stops paying him lots of attention, he'll probably move around a little bit, sort of going over to Hidden by Axel. So Hidden by Axel, are you hidden by Axel or Axel? She said you were somebody called Axel, but do you prefer Hidden by Axel? See, I prefer 1,000 Teeth instead of just Teeth are 1,000, but it's kind of whatever.
Well, the thing is, Axel's so much easier to say, and Hidden by Axel is a bit of a mouthful. 1,000 Teeth rolls really, really nicely.
I think so too.
One of many's really good at picking names, I've got to say. I was just hidden by Axel because I hid under Axels. We had carts and I hid underneath them, and so yeah, that's why they call me that. But Axel's just a lot easier, and I've never really needed to be called Hidden by Axel. It was just my name, and I've always really been called Axel.
Well, that's nice. I like Axel.
Grom always called me Axel, so...
Oh,
yeah.
Who's Grom?
Grom was a dwarf. He was my adopted father.
Oh.
He
That's nice.
Yeah, so he raised me, yeah.
We're all sort of adopted here because, we're all from different places, and then we all got new names too. So it's like, you just become a new person when you come here. It's kind of neat.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, just like you, we've got it's a tribe, but we're all different. It's cool to have people who are all different. I like having people that are all different. You never quite know what someone might be like when they come here because magic and the Vice.
Yeah. I mean, like, really interesting group of people. I mean, some of us are really different, but it's really great what we can do together and as a team. And it's always great when somebody's around that you can help and they can help you. He could just sort of natters on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
time passes, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty much unfailingly. I mean, going down a winding pathway. I mean, trying to retrace this would be very difficult, having found it in the first place. Sometimes you're following the runoff. Sometimes you're heading back to the west. Sometimes the east. Sometimes you even head north a little bit as he sort of winds you through, pretty much unerringly, as though he's not, as though he's not even having to pay attention. Go ahead.
I just wanted to state that Kel is making a specific effort to pay attention to the weather, because this could be a very dangerous place to be in, flash flooding potential. So he's just going to perpetually be keeping an eye on any developing weather.
Okay. I mean, we'll go by your passive perception, but if you want to make a perception check as well, we'll take whichever one that's higher. Just to be keeping an ear out.
Keep a lookout for the weave and begin talking with Axel just on the recap of the theory of what we were talking about in the station, which we're currently figuring out right now.
Okay.
And Luna is doing her best to remember the path we're taking. Because since he doesn't seem to be able to, he doesn't seem to have to pause, she assumes that this path will always work to get there, so she is trying to mentally map that. She's not pulling out the paper or anything.
Okay.
She's trying to remember.
Do me just a survival, I'll say, just to see of memorizing this.
Sure.
16. Yeah, you're because of your cartography skill, mapping. The big thing is that you have a very good direction, a very good sense of direction. So whereas sometimes you lose the sky because it's overcast or whatever, it'd be very difficult for other people because of your sort of training in cartography and sort of an innate feel of just, you're one of those people who just kind of knows which way is north. You are able to keep a pretty good tab of it. And it's about an hour, probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours, before you finally sort of round into a last sort of a round bend. He's like, it should be coming up just ahead. We can get you down there and then we'll get you started. It's the only path out of here, so we want to see what the water level is because you don't want it to be down there as it's still draining. And basically, you come around this rock outcropping, and you see sort of multiple different paths of water, stream beds all come together, and lying in front of you looks like just a huge pile of lumber and roots and tree. Apparently several large trees sort of uprooted in a mudslide got washed down here and are just sort of jammed into a sort of between a very narrow entrance to this canyon. And you hear Thousand Teeth go, "Oh, that's new. Well, that's Smuggler's Gambit there, but those trees, they weren't there a couple days ago. I guess they came down in the storm." And you can see, he sort of points out, and you can see where water's somewhat dammed up behind them. It does seem to drain through somewhat, but there's definitely, it's sort of causing a bit of a dammed up condition here at the mouth of this this gorge that you can see forming here in front of you. That's going to take a little bit to clear. We could work on it tonight, or I don't think you'll get it done before it's dark. And regardless, I can't make it back in time, so can I camp with you guys? Even if I'll help you clear.
Of course.
Kel will. You just muted yourself, good guy.
I was finding the voice. It's difficult. Sorry.
Dude, I totally understand.
And I lost. I do say, this looks like an interesting job, but blockages and rubble and stuff moving out of the way shouldn't be too hard. We have plenty of good mounts here. How much rope do we have?
You've got whatever normal rope you have. You also got this steel cable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you've got a mule. You got a big old. I mean, you got a Caragor who's strong. Or like an ox. You've got. I lost your ram's name.
Mighty.
Mighty. We've got Mighty, who is awfully mighty. He's majestic and mighty. So yeah, no, I mean, certainly you all could use your mounts, maybe some of this cable, sort of rig some stuff up. It's still going to be quite a bit of work. I mean, this is probably almost 40 feet high. It's basically like a tree has been a large, like oak tree or something, got folded in half. And so you've got roots and top of the tree, and then whatever brush came down from behind it. I mean, you can go do an investigation, sort of see if you can figure out what's going to be the best way to...
That's what Kel wants to do. He's going to be jumping off and climbing to the top and just going all over the blockage to see where any weak points are and the best way to
so
try and get this out of the way.
Yeah, if you're going to be climbing out, give me some athletics, and also give me an investigation just in general.
And he is going to have his new, and he is going to have his new boots on.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yep, you will have attuned to them
just in case.
Yep.
And then what am I rolling?
Athletics if you're climbing up on
Yes.
it, or investigation if
Athletics.
you're getting over there on it. And anyone who wants to participate in this is welcome to.
Seriously?
It's mainly because this deadfall is brand new. It is not completely sort of settled into place, and while your athletic skills are certainly up to the task, the problem is that lots of things basically are moving underneath of your feet. Pure raw strength isn't helping that much because things settle as you try to leap off of things. They're moving and sort of shifting underneath of you. Axel, you are able, with your climbing skill, you're able to sort of scramble around on it. It's wedged in there pretty good. Again, lots of limbs in the way, lots of brush that is sort of clogging the path. With luck, your investigation. The first thing as you get up there, and you guys would have noticed this too, climbing on top of it, there are probably half dozen corpses of just animals, sort of antelope looking things, stuff like that obviously got caught in this landslide flood, and that they've just sort of all gotten sort of bludgeoned and smushed and crushed within this. It's fairly fresh kill. Not particularly pleasant, but again, I'll go with Luna's survival. Was that for that was for your mapping?
That was for mapping.
But yeah, for your 60 investigation, and just common sense wise, while not probably something you'd want to cook up, you do have several meat eating mounts that this would be good for, and potentially to even take a little with you, because you don't know when game is going to be plentiful or not. But I mean, it's kind of roadkill, but I mean, we're talking about a Caragor and a big guard Drake, and I'm trying to think what else we've got that eats. I think those are your only two. Chocobo is grains and things, right?
Chocobos is grains.
Yeah.
I can't remember if donkeys are omnivores or not, or mules. Sorry.
Donkeys are well, you got the goat that's an omnivore, but I'd say probably don't prefer carrion as much as the other ones are. But I mean, the other thing is you've got a whole treetop here, and around here there's plenty of grazing for any of the herbivores that you have. So you from your exploration of this, certainly you can find places to tie off to. The biggest thing you're going to have is, even though you've got some very sturdy mounts, it's going to be some very big pieces that you're trying to drag, and just they're wedged in there pretty good. So there's probably going to be some work of cutting things into smaller pieces as well. So how do you guys want to go about this? Do you want to the water is sort of there's a bit of a pond behind this. It is draining out, so you're gonna be fighting water a little bit doing it tonight. Can't guarantee that you're not gonna be fighting water in the morning as well, but your call either way. It's just another sort of thing. The rain has pretty much stopped in this area, and you can see most of the streams where they were certainly much wider even just hours ago are sort of now getting to just sort of a probably standard level of groundwater trickle.
I'm going to focus on getting the bodies of the animals out
Okay.
first, pulling out any brush or limbs that might be smaller and not already attached to the tree to unjam things,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully pretty much anywhere where there's extra just like loose limbs, branches, brush, pulling, clearing all of the stuff that's filling the gaps to have as little stuff wedging the larger tree trunks in to make it easier to eventually move them.
Okay. How about everyone else? You guys lend a hand? Are you all doing other things while this process is going on?
I definitely think it's a good idea to do some work tonight, so it's less time consuming and less energy consuming tomorrow. So I think probably what Iska does is, with the whip and its ability to kind of go where I lead it,
Mm-hmm.
is to, if there's stuff like stuff like wedged in there but not immediately available to us, like we'd have to trudge through water or something,
Yeah.
she will just kind of guide the whip to wrap around it and basically pull it from a safer place, so she's not fighting the current or anything at the same time.
Okay.
So again, like minor things tonight, just to make sure it's less work tomorrow.
Anyone else? What are you guys up to?
Ishrin's going to ask Loud to become a great axe.
Okay.
He's going to help and assist away the best he can,
Okay.
clearing some of the breeze away. If night does begin to fall, I mean, he does have his dark vision, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
So if needed to, he'll pull out his drift globe and activate the light spell from it.
Okay.
Floats with him. The weave is completely still messed up here.
It's stabilizing, but it's still, spellcasting would be still treacherous and iffy at this point.
I know it's a big risk, but I'm going to say this to Iska and Kel while we're working together. I'm going to say I know it's a big risk, but if it calls for it, maybe I could shatter the logs.
No magic. Just no.
The thought.
Yeah, when Lux says no magic, you see 1,000 Teeth kind of look up and get sort of startled and just like, no, it's too close here.
1,000 teeth. It will be fine. Iskrin will not cast a spell, or else I'll kill him.
Well, you don't have to kill him, but
Yes, I do.
She wants to.
it kind of gives you a strange look. I'm going to go over and help. And sort of walks away from Luna.
That's fine.
There's a total vibe of like, hey, they're just kidding, bud.
Ishkin then goes, speaking of killing Luna, after this, would you like to train for a little bit?
Sure. She mostly sees it as just like if he's training with her, he's not casting the spell.
That works. That's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Luke's going to pull out sort of this greenish reddish liquid, open up and use my potency so I can have 20 strength and start moving some of the larger logs and stuff which are already loose.
Okay. Yeah. You see. You actually see with his newly sharpened teeth, 1,000 Teeth just kind of looks like a buzzsaw. I mean, it seems like serrated edges, these serrated edges, and whatever. And it's like he's like basically using arms, legs spread out, and especially in like the tops of the trees where Kel was working, is able to loosen up even more. Try to help out. He's trying to help out Kel of really sort of stripping down these branches. He's like, hey, Celia, watch this. as he's out there sort of spinning like this whirling dervish of teeth. He goes, "See, the sharpener really helped. See, thank you."
All I can imagine is him doing cartwheels now, like.
It is all but. I mean, he is a tabaxi, so he is very agile, and he's showing off. There is no doubt that he's showing off. He's got a little bit of a crush on somebody.
Thousand Teeth is Luna's new favorite tabaxi. Axel's a close second.
Well, I mean, he's not a lit.
Axel's not a lit either, right?
Yeah.
Cat's off the back, guys. It's confirmed.
So you guys work for a couple hours. Let's go ahead and since I know Iskram was saying he was wanted to help with the battle axe, but also train. So we'll do some training, and then once you've sort of gotten Iskram out of the spell casting mode, Luna, then he can go and help.
Yeah, that works.
Iskram really wanted to cast that spell. He is not paying attention to his training.
He really did. Yeah, no.
He wanted to cast that spell so bad. And so let's see if you can get him refocused here, Luna. Yeah, you're at least with your 19 against his nat 1, he knows that if he doesn't pay attention, you're going to kill him.
Basically, I'm like thwacking him in the arm with the flat of the blade.
Whack. Don't cast anything. Whack. Whack. Okay. He starts paying attention with his 20. Yeah, and comes back at you hard, realizing that he needs to concentrate or he's going to get dead. Let's go for the last round. And yeah, you guys, in the last round there, Luna is really getting better at this. We won't call this we'll call it an hour of training instead of 3 hours of training.
Yep. That's fair. And
then Iskram, when you head over, you see, now Lyle as a battle axe. You are chopping away, but you see just how well Thousand Teeth is doing, and you hear a voice in your head. Care to try something? From Lyle.
Always.
And the battle axe changes into this giant, two-handed, look like shark tooth serrated greatsword. It is all but like a two-person, like one of those two-person saws, but on a handle. And you start making short work with this shark tooth serrated great sword that Lyle has become.
You know what, Lyle? This is one of the funnest forms you've ever made before.
Oh, you used to like this one.
Oh. I can see how well it gets through materials. This is good.
Especially helpful on dragon scales. He sort of hints at you. Don't get too excited.
It's for dragon scales. It's going to go through bone.
Yes, bone too. You guys, we'll say, work pretty much until sundown. You've gotten it down to probably tomorrow morning you'll just have 1 or 2 big logs to get out of the way. The biggest thing you see is that from moving a lot of the smaller debris, this sort of pond that is formed at the front of here is really starting to drain quickly now. So perhaps it'll get to a much more manageable level by morning. If anyone wants to sort of take a look, or I'd even just say as you're working, you can look down and see that it is pretty much white water right now down the gorge as this pond is draining out. But you've made great progress. Night begins to fall, and even the threat of rain and thunder has during your work has gone away. So if you would like to settle in.
Were we able to free any of the dead animals?
Oh yeah, you absolutely got the animals came out first. I didn't even make you roll a check for that. They are pretty easy to, they were pretty pulverized. They kind of, if you couldn't just get them out, you could kind of like Play-Doh extrude them out. Yeah, these things just got beat to hell, tumbling down in this mass of deadfall and flood. And it is a pretty good reminder. I mean, some of these creatures are, fairly large deer and other sort of big herbivores of the type of power that something like this would have. You definitely don't want to get caught in one of these flash flood situations up here.
Just because of getting used to doing it with Valkyrian, Kel will take care of, some partially butchering the animals and the dead animals and feeding the mounts.
Yep, for sure. You're able to pretty quickly get these carcasses pretty cleaned out. Certainly, they're not going to hold for a long, long time, but Kent, the Karagor, just rips into one that you feed to him. Axel's guard drake tears in as well. Y'all are welcome to have the other animals, set them to grazing or whatever.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about, setting up camp. What you guys are doing for the evening?
You just muted yourself before you finished your sentence.
Tell me about what the rest of you guys are doing as you set up for the evening.
Sure. So Luna does not go jump in the water where she could possibly die. She really wants to. But she is going to pull, because she hasn't done it well, pull a globe of water from the streams that are forming, and kind of have that hovering behind her. But yeah, while they were working, cutting things away, she probably would have actually been working on setting up the actual campground. Because she's not strength galore, and that was too much water to try and divert, so.
Okay. Sorry.
So I would have probably been helping her set that up as well. Before. So
Okay.
It's, again, very strong.
Yeah, you all are able to set up sort of a campsite, sort of in one of the little higher dry areas. Things are drying out. Stuff is moist. Most of the firewood is fairly wet, but now that you are in your non-exhausted state, you are able to pool water and get things dry enough for Luck to get things lit fairly easily with his between his magic, between his tinderbox and his skill.
To be fair, she does still have one level of exhaustion because she did not sleep in the ring, and she had two.
I'm still going to say, I mean, again, if you were trying to make it bone dry, you can get it dry enough, and there's enough
just dry enough
here.
to get it light.
Yeah, just to get stuff lit. There's enough here to, we're not where we were before, where it literally was, it was slim pickings. You literally have a whole tree that's been knocked down and lots of deadfall that's been washed here that is going to be fairly easy to get going. Danny?
What I just wanted to say, once I'm done with the mounts, I will try and do some foraging to supplement the evening meal, and then once I'm back from that, I will make a larger batch of Ron.
Okay.
To share with everyone.
Okay. Give me a survival check to see what you find out there. On a 25, because of sort of the flash flood here, a lot of what you find is sort of bruised and damaged as far as any type of berries or things like that, roots that have been, it's almost like finding potatoes after a storm. So it's, even with the 25, I mean, you're finding stuff. It's not necessarily the most appetizing stuff, but it is nourishment. and you know where to sort of look in the well-protected places. It's just this flood has done sort of a real number on a lot of the things. Any things that would have grown sort of on the stream beds have either been washed away. But you're able to, certainly, we'll say it would be almost like, that you would only need to use half rations for the evening if people wanted to, or just to make it so it's a little bit nicer of a dinner for folks as they start to settle down.
While dinner's being made, I sit down with Lyle in his new great sword form next to Celia, undo my mantle and take it off, and just ask Lyle, so how about you tell us about this great sword form and which life of mine which life enjoyed this?
He goes,
oh,
well, it's not a very elegant form, and you see him turn back to his normal form. But, let's see, 300, no. Maybe only 250 lives ago. It was quite an interesting sphere. And he just starts talking to you a little bit about where you had been sent to a sphere, and you were younger then, a bit more rash. I know it's hard to believe, right, Celia? But he was a bit more rash then, running around, and always wanted to have the biggest damn sword, and so here we are. And quite brutal, really, if you really must know about it. He had this penchant for cutting people's legs off, just cutting them right off out from underneath of them. Pretty nasty stuff, and I will say those quite a nasty wound I can leave when in that form. People often bled out before they actually died from the wound. Grisly stuff. Not one of his brightest days, if you ask me.
No, that's not elegant at all.
See, we taught you. It took millennia, but finally we got you there.
You did.
Hmm?
You did.
Well, and then he's forgotten it all. His mind's a bit cracked. But, we tape it together and keep on going. You see Thousand Teeth, eyes wide open, kind of like looking around. Who is that? Who is that?
Oh, that's the talking sword. Don't be concerned.
Lyle's just in my lap, just sitting across, like the blade is facing outwards, so the crescent's like facing everybody, and the massive great sword just transforms back into a long sword shape.
Hey, those are like my teeth, and they're gone. Okay, and you do see he's been sort of wiggling at one of the sort of larger sort of forearm teeth, and it finally does. It seemed like it had sort of been dislodged, and it finally, almost like a kid working on a loose tooth, and it does, pop finally, and oh well, and you can, again, he kind of has like those shark teeth, so the next one will roll in, and you see him, he sort of starts working on it and sort of using his other teeth to sort of like clean off any kind of muck on it, and
Luna would actually just kind of like use the globes of claw she collected anyway to clean it off.
Oh, you guys are really cool. You know that? But yeah, and then he kind of goes to Luna and I'm trying to think. You've got a couple necklaces and things, don't you? And he kind of walks over to you and kind of whispers in your ear and goes, do you have anything that I can make a kind of like a necklace out of this with? Like that leather piece on your
She'll just take one of them off and undo the whatever she had on there, and have him hand the tooth over.
And he hands it over to her.
Okay, so she will. I can make a check if you want. She'll make a little.
Oh no,
necklace
it's fairly
out of it.
easy. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's a fairly large size tooth. I mean, it's
Yeah.
again, it was the size of a tooth on an arm, so fairly toothy. And he kind of smiles at you as he goes, "Thank you," and you see him sort of pocket it, and he starts kind of looking at Celia and kind of looking at Iskrin, kind of waiting, and looking at Celia and looking at Iskrin and waiting. He's not seeing an opening with Iskrin right there because Iskrin's got this kind of scary sword. So he...
Iskrin, would you like to go train again?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Then we'll
I have an idea.
take him away.
And he looks at Luna and goes,
So she can make sure Iskrin doesn't see, she'll wink real slow at him.
Yeah.
Keep going.
and,
Wingman Luna.
Yeah, so Thousand Teeth sort of goes over and goes over to Celia and goes, so, well, one of my, here, and just hands you this necklace, which you probably saw Luna making, and sort of hands it to you and sort of puts his hands by the thing and goes, this has been a lot of fun, and thank you for not killing me. And then he sort of scurries back over to where he was sitting.
Celia's just gonna look at the necklace and then look at 1,000 Teeth. She's gonna stand up, walk over to him, and very carefully give him a very light hug.
Yeah, he's like, be careful. I don't be careful. Oh, okay. And you sort of see him like he kind of like bites his lip and when you step away and he seems first he was kind of silly crushed, but now he's a little bit choked up, and he goes,
Oh.
nobody ever touches me anymore.
Aww.
And just goes, thank you, and just kind of just slides over a little bit, and goes back to his thing. He's like, because he doesn't want to cry in front of you. He's like trying to totally. Okay.
Aww.
So that's really cool. Thank you. And he quickly sort of makes his way over to Axel, just because that sort of seems to be the other person he's been talking with. Well, yeah, and so that was really cool when you met one of many, huh? He's really kind of neat. You are muted.
Am I still muted?
Oh, no, you are.
Yeah, I'm muted. Yeah, Axel sort of takes a moment. He's sort of watching the interactions, interesting look on his face. It just takes a moment to catch on that he's being talked to. Yeah, it was really interesting. It was kind of weird, kind of cool, Lots of questions I could ask, but I don't really want to ask them all. But it's a bit weird.
Yeah, well.
Go and ask, what's it like to be 2, 4, 5 different people?
Well, 6 they say, but it's cool. Well, what was cool? So you wouldn't know this, but we know this because you see those eyes. We don't see those eyes. Do you think it was the Drake? We see the other eyes all the time, but we don't see those eyes that looked at you very often, or in fact, never. I've never seen them. And the old people they talk about, see, because there were 6 people. See, there was an elf, and there was a half elf, and there was a dwarf, and then of course there was a tabaxi, and then there was a human, and then there was the dragonborn. And we see them. We've seen all of them. It sort of blinks through, and it's kind of cool. And you're like, oh, you're talking to somebody else. But see, they always said that there was a drake, an ancient drake, that was traveling with them. And they say that's in there too. I wonder if it was the Drake looking at you.
I thought that, might be the case. I didn't know for sure, but I thought there was something unusual, but I couldn't really say for sure. And lots of things that I kind of know and I don't really want to work on.
Yeah, well,
If you try, you kind of know sometimes things blow up, so you don't want to do that, but yeah.
hey, heal for Bird versus Plane from D-Bally.
Yeah, well, because perhaps some just new people, new things got them interested.
Maybe.
Just quietly.
Maybe.
Dragons, drakes, all patient.
Yeah. Well, because they say the Drakes, they're special Drakes in the world that are very old, older than the other Drakes, and that they all have the same memories. It's like a collective unmemory. No, that's not right. I can't remember. But anyway, they all know what all the other ones know, and they've known what all the other ones have known for a very long time, and they're special. But there's not all of them. It's just some of them, and everyone says that maybe one of those is what's inside one of many, and why he's so smart, and why he knows things.
That would make some sense. Yeah, that would make some sense. I mean, we can't know for sure unless we ask him, and then.
And that gets weird. I know I don't like to ask people about stuff like that if they're especially trying to keep it a secret.
Yes, those. I imagine they don't want to sort of advertise themselves.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's also different and not always.
Yeah.
Don't always work different and things like that.
Yeah. Speaking of secrets, you look terrible.
Yeah, no, I've been getting worse. And he has basically, ever since got the camp set up, he has settled himself against the Drake with Gonri and just been reading, making notes with his left hand and his right one. He's just huddled up there, comfortable, and he does look terrible. He also looks so tired. He's not even, the conversation he's had is a bit slower than normal. He's just tired and lethargic. He's just lost a lot of energy. But yeah, no, it's the search.
I know.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be all right? Do you know? I mean, how long ago?
It was two days. Yeah, just about 2 days. It was day before, then yesterday, and today.
So you don't know yet?
Yeah. I mean, you got better every morning, and I hope this will get better.
Well, that's good that you get better every morning.
Yeah. I mean, I still get worse at the end of the day. Not fun. But,
No.
I mean,
Nope, they never are. But
No.
he kind of looks up and kind of looks at him. So, you can learn to live with him, I guess. I mean, hopefully it's not anything that just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
At least there's a better part of it, so we'll just have to see, I guess, or you'll have to see because I got to go home. But
Yeah. Well, I can write with my other hand, but I've just got to do more practice with that now, because this one's a bit. I want to get all of my books, and it is horrid. He usually keeps it sort of wrapped up in some sort of spare scraps, but it does look really, really bad. His right hand at this point, so he just uses his left. Dog.
so what's everyone else up to around the campsite?
I pulled out the Penumbral blades.
Oh, with Luna. Okay, we'll just say that you all train for another 2 hours. We'll let this just go as another couple hours of training, so you can get your normal 3 hours of training. And yeah, he's got his penumbral blades out, so you're now learning how to fight with a single longsword against someone who's got two swords coming at you. So it's. I'll actually even say because of that, we'll give you a bonus hour in there, so that it's an extra 3, so you'll have 4 hours for today, because with this and for doing a good deed.
And then afterwards go into
That's what the underdog.
Like I'm gonna go into reverie first, so I can get my 4 hours rest, and then wake up for second watch.
Okay, so yeah, what do you? I mean, we'll go get into watch. Anything else people want to do before turning in for the night, and then we'll talk about watches. What's Luck up to Anything special with dinner, or just sort of hard day's work?
Yeah, he's just sort of cooking up something simple right now, and he sort of keeps like looking like he's sort of got his little alchemy pack to sort of behind him, as well as herb spices. He sort of finishes dinner, he moves that off and just starts looking at the different sort of bits and of herbs and stuff that he's picked up over time, and some of the ones that he's not even tried, and you just sort of see him breaking off little bits and sort of in his mouth and then going to the side.
Okay. Yeah, so you're sort of see, whole new world, whole new land. You've been able to see different little lichens and things, especially in the cave you were in the night before. A few little interesting things there, but also sort of gonna keep your eyes out. You see a sort of in some of the clearing that you did, they were pretty much destroyed, but you could see some like different mushrooms and things, really not in any kind of usable shape after being pummeled by this. But potentially you could find some additional different herbs and things that you aren't familiar with or haven't been familiar with as you continue on your journey. Anything else other people want to do before we start into the night and reverie?
I know she strained with Iskrin for like 3 hours, but she would like to check in with Axel before she goes to bed.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to do a medicine check or anything. His one hand is all but black. The fur is completely gone. It is sort of desiccated. Tell me a little bit about what's happened with the blackness around your neck, Templar.
So again, the blackness around the neck has just spread. It's gone from like a rope to just something that's just the entire neck is black, as if he's wearing a dark shirt. You could only see his head. Sort of. Yeah. But again, and that fur has actually started falling out. So there's a black fur, and then there's the rope of bare black skin where the black fur usually was, and then the rest of his fur is just coarse. It's got the sort of some spots of darkness. Every other place is just But where the neck is, it's spread and fallen out. But Yuka keeps himself bundled all the way up to there.
We had one greater restoration crystal that was twice attuned. Two. We need to try one of the crystals, because I do not think we will make it to where we need to go to fix this in time. We have to try.
If you want, it's gotten better every morning.
And worse every night, Axel.
I understand. I'm not saying no. It's not fun for me.
Let me have. So you agree we should use one?
If you want to use one, I'm yes. I think we should get further away from the vice and then try with magic. Those things are valuable. But
these are vice attuned.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But they're better for any occasion. But yes. Go ahead. This is tiring.
Sure. She's gonna use one. Knock it off.
Okay. You hold the crystal up to Axel, and as you place it sort of against his chest, it flares with this crystalline golden light that infuses into Axel, and he all of the damage that you had just seen on him is back to normal. He still has the normal amount of rope, sort of dark fur, but the rest of him is restored back to his normal sort of color, demeanor. His fur is back to sort of being bright and shiny and all that kind of stuff.
His energy's back up and everything.
I'm sorry?
Like his energy is back up and everything.
Oh, yeah.
He was just saying he was feeling super lethargic. So.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Nice.
Thank you, Luna. I mean, could have waited, but
She actually like grabs you by like the scruff of your chest. Next time something is wrong, you will say something immediately. And
I didn't know it was wrong until you noticed it.
Immediately hidden by Axel.
Yeah.
Then she'll pat you on the head.
Kel steps over now with a cup of the Ron tea, specifically offering it to Axel, and holds it out and says, "Drink this."
If you
And no, it could not have waited.
And then he'll take a drink. Take the drink.
yeah, you recognize the smell. This is...
And you're muted.
You recognize the smell. This is his tea made from the Moral Thaw leaves from his ritual that he shared with you back in Sojourn's Crossing. So, yeah.
Axel will, respect the process. I can't remember it myself, but
It's not necessary to do the ceremony.
I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly.
Kel sees your hesitations as just drink.
Okay. I'm gonna drink it all down.
Anything else? Iska, anything you're up to this evening, or just sort of been observing?
I think she had just. She was definitely concerned about Axel, about Luck's mental breakdown, and about Kel. I was going to say it earlier, it doesn't have any effect on gameplay, but she had just, taken a seat somewhere and just decided no magic, just normal playing the violin for a little bit. Just some chill, relaxing music. Everyone take a breather as she just kind of scans between the three of them. It's, like I said, it's just been such a hard road for those three in particular. So there's definitely some weight off her shoulders seeing Luna cure Axel, knowing that's one less problem. We lost a dragon.
Yeah, I bet he'll be back.
Yeah, I'm guessing the laptop died. And
Yeah.
So
realize.
that's about it. Question though, my mount, Charlotte, is she looking okay? I know that her feeding is a very specific thing, and I don't know if Iska knows where to find.
Currently, she seems to be looking fine. You can see she sort of has out kind of antenna that every once in a while you see weird little motes of light glow in them that perhaps, oh, there we are. Didn't even need to stay away that long. That seem to be somehow picking up some type of sustenance. You feel as though you're going to, just because it's an animal, you're going to need she's going to need more than that at some point, but she doesn't seem to be distressed in any way at this point.
Okay, that's good for now. I'll just keep an eye on that, just on her general demeanor going forward. Like I said, that's something we're going to need to find eventually, and I don't know where to find those.
Yeah.
Kel, after giving the tea to Axel, will offer cups to everybody else in turn, with Iska last. And he will go to Iska as she's playing, sit down next to her, and offer her a cup.
Yeah, she stops playing, looks to Kel, just gives him a little smile.
And
kind of a
Kel,
nod / bow.
And Kel will say, I know you've been concerned and I know you've been trying to help. Don't think because I shrugged you off that it wasn't appreciated, because it was, and it is. It was too much to handle in that moment, and I'm sorry.
Hell, you have nothing to apologize for. I can't imagine what these past few days have been like for you. And you're right, all I want to do is help, but to be honest, I'm pretty new with this whole friend thing.
Well,
Tell me, and when they don't work with people, I'm pretty confused. So,
well,
I'm sorry if I'm not. I am trying, but I want to learn what Kel needs, what you need.
I'm new to it too. Until I saw you by the side of the road, I had been alone for a long time. Just me and the animals in the forest. So I don't always know what to do either.
You're not alone anymore.
I know, and sometimes that's hard.
It is, right?
It's hard.
Really hard.
It's hard to not be alone when you're so used to it. So, thank you. And he just kind of stops mid-sentence because he doesn't know what else to say.
Hey, thank you for the tea. Let's drink, huh? And she won't press it anymore because conversation kind of good, you know. After spending time with Kel, we don't need to talk that much or have this long conversation. I feel like that's the most positive interaction they've had in a long time.
And Kel will take a few sips of his tea and then say, you know, sometimes the best part of being with someone is being together like this, when you are just happy to be with the person you're with without needing to say anything. And then he takes another sip of tea.
Cheers to that, Kel. She holds out her glass just to tink it against his. And just kind of stares out. Doesn't respond or anything.
And so, yeah, that's... Kel will continue to finish his tea in silence.
Cool.
Sitting with Iska.
Cool. Hey, with that wrapped up, I think my internet's back, so I'm going to drop this call and try to come in on my computer instead of my phone.
Awesome.
All right,
So
sounds good.
Actually, why don't we go ahead then and take our quick
Take a
break?
break.
I mean, and we'll come back with folks going into the night and their rest. So you know what? We didn't even talk about the charity, even though we made our goal. So
There's a charity involved with
there's
this
a
channel?
charity involved here. Hey, NG9, why don't you tell everybody all about it?
Thank you very much, Talkwell. Hello, lovely viewers. If this is your first time here, well, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. This channel is run 100% for charity. This much charity being Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, an organization dedicated to bringing music to underserved music programs in schools across the country. If you want to learn more about the organization itself, please click in the description below. It will take you to the actual website. Please give it a look. If you would like to donate to the organization through our channel, there are various donation levels below. We have things like a D10 healing die to a player, an advantage, a natural 20, a this month only level for $50. You can add a random ring, rod, staff, or one of rare or lesser quality to the next loot haul for a specific player. The any level is you can donate any amount to the spell bank, and for every $100, as you saw at the top of the stream, we get a higher level spell. Which is why right now we are sitting currently at Charm Person. But please do not feel pressure to donate if it is not in your budget. You can just enjoy the stream. You can do things like share us on social media, such as Twitter and Facebook. Otherwise, thank you for joining, and we hope you enjoy. And of course, as a special treat, everybody's favorite segment, Pun of the Week. How do you fix a broken brass instrument?
How?
With the tuba glue. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt. Oh, I felt that one. I felt that one. That one.
I just want to thank you for the pain you inflicted upon all of us. You make us stronger people when we survive it.
I think that's the worst one yet.
No, it's not.
I was trying to do the Arthur meme of the clenched fist up again. Oh, man.
When you hear your D&D party making bad puns.
Shooty, I don't know what you're talking about. My laugh isn't more evil than usual.
No, it's about the same amount of evil.
I mean, if it follows a pun, it's always like ultimate evil. It's kind of difficult.
Evil is relative, always to the scale of the pun.
I will grant you that.
And I don't know that I would call it evil. I would call it maniacal.
Fair.
Yeah, that's true. It's there's no real.
Because there's a glee in that.
Yeah, there's no cause behind the evil, because like evil is always trying to achieve something. This is more just pain for the sake of pain.
I do it because I care.
I've got a book anyway this week I've got.
Oh yes, the book. Sorry, yes, the book. This book.
Is The Boy in Striped Pajamas. This is one of my personal favorite books, mainly because it has a very interesting story behind it, because it's that slight insight into a very dark time in the world's history, and it humanizes the side of history in which people were very dehumanized as the enemy. Telling the story through the eyes of a young German boy coming across a concentration camp is a very enlightening story into how awful these camps were, first of all, and secondly, how much it affected not only the Jews and everyone else who got caught in that, but also how it affected the citizens of Germany during that time, and the naivety that came with it. And I think that's very foretelling with the fact that it is told through all the eyes of this young German boy. And not to get into it too deep, it does touch on some very sensitive themes and handles them amazingly, and it's definitely a very good portrayal of the war and how it affected the life of these people.
Thank you.
And what was the name of the book again?
The Boy in Striped Pajamas by John Boyne.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And just for clarity for the stream, I was laughing at what Bird put in the chat, not at the content of this book. For clarity.
Yes.
I feel like that's necessary.
Yeah. So, as far as overnight, what's our lineup for our long rest? Anything different from normal? Is our normal Kel first, Cilia second, and Iskrin? Are you going to bridge, or are you just going to be up with Cilia?
Actually, Iskrin's already asleep. He already said he was in reverie. So I guess Iskrin, Kel, Cilia.
Yeah, I mean, Kel is doing usual, rest first and then
So
take over the rest of the
Iskrin and
night.
Kel will be on second chef, and Celia, you're going to be our late night. So, as we head into evening, let's as we're out here in the wild, the sky clears and a just beautiful, clear, starry night develops overhead as the temperatures do drop now that the sun has gone down and the cloud cover has gotten out of the way. It's that sort of all you people from the north know this better than me, but basically when you get that, that clear sky that just seems to just pull the heat off of the land, it's that type of feel as the sky just sort of opens up and it just seems like you're exposed to the universe as the temperature starts to drop. Certainly there's plenty of wood here to keep the fire up, and many of you guys sort of maybe cuddle in a little closer before turning in to sleep. Anything specific anyone wants to do that we haven't already covered as far as sleep goes, or else we'll go ahead and get into first watch and second watch.
When he wakes up, Ishrin's just going to lay down and stare at the stars and just make note of all the stars that are up there. They're actually just imperfections in the spheres in a shell.
Yep. So, Celia, go ahead and make me a perception check as we go into the first watch. 24. You do hear there's plenty of noises around in the night. You do hear actually even it seems like a couple rock falls happen as the ground is starting to dry out and some of the damage from the flood is still sort of settling into place. At one point you do sort of hear it's probably some wildlife off in the distance. It's hard to pinpoint it because of how the sort of ravines and canyons are around here sort of break up and noise echoes around, but nothing approaches towards the camp. Iskrin, you come out of your reverie, as does Kel, about halfway through the night. As you were saying, you look up, watch the stars, and Kel, anything specific you're doing other than just sort of keeping watch as you are awake in the early morning hours? So go ahead and do me a perception check with advantage, because Iskrin is with you, even though he's a bit distracted. We'll give you advantage on it. Just because his ears are out. Nat 20. Same sort of thing through the night. There doesn't seem to be anything of a threat. You do hear some animals that approach close to the camp. Some perhaps maybe just attracted by light or warmth, but nothing that seems to be threatening. At one point, you do see what looks like sort of some sort of herbivore, four-legged creature, sort of, clumps incredibly close to the camp, just all but walks right through it to go and get some water, and then sort of just walks along its way after getting water, and sort of back into the darkness of the night. Gives no care whatsoever as it just kind of marches right on through. Sure, whatevs. As the next morning dawns, you guys get a bit of a better look of the canyon that lies ahead of you. In the morning light, let me get this sorted so it's correct. And find yourselves looking at this canyon. There still is the one or two bits of debris to clear out, but you would be able to make fairly short work of that, probably less than an hour to get it all cleared out and ready to go for the so that you could traverse down here. The water does seem to have receded quite a bit. Thousand Teeth is sort of up and about, sort of getting ready to help out however he can, but also to get himself back to Black Cliff Village. Anything specific, you guys, on the morning?
Not in terms of the actual clearing. I figure that'll be kind of the same as yesterday. But before Thousand Teeth exits, Luna wants to give him a frozen sphere, but in the shape of a ball of yarn to play with.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, he kind of looks at it and it's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I can certainly help out as you get this last bit pulled out of here. And,
like that would be after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll say, I mean, well, I'm not going to make you all roll for it. You all are, by hooking up the mounts and using the cable and stuff, you are able to pull everything out of the way. And you are clear to go. And Thousand Teeth sort of waves goodbye and kind of looks at, sort of waves by and everyone's like, bye, Celia. And, and then, and kind of gives a little look over his shoulder, kind of the adventuring life, maybe, seeming a bit probably safer and more exciting than it really is, but heads back up to and around the corner. He's pretty much lost from sight pretty quickly.
Poor kid's gonna die being an adventurer.
Led astray by a pretty face to his own doom. It's tragic.
Yes, you are welcome to rib Celia however y'all would like.
I think he's a better match for you, Celia. Less destructive.
So mature.
That's a good point.
Sure. I was going to say, he did pretty good work on that tree. But anyway.
I just like how we're all doing this as Ishrin is literally sitting in the dark.
Luna doesn't care.
I've still got a concern. How would, the bed...
Of course, with the awkward question.
The bed,
There are harder mattresses, Luck. There's a variety.
It'd be very...
People have different tastes. You should not judge them.
We have something to accomplish. Let's leave the talk of everyone's minors alone and move forward, please.
But how do they use the rope if she's into the rope?
Leave the
different rope.
Cable.
I like Iska wants to go do something just going.
So you guys, we're just gonna kind of slide right out of this one. So you guys, see lying before you the entrance of Smuggler's Gambit. It is a fairly open ravine now. The water has gone down. Guys, do me just sort of perception checks. As you are entering in.
Burb's got it. And Kel's got it.
Yep. As you guys enter, let's see, Iska, Kel.
Kel mutters, he does have access to metal rope.
Right. There are benefits.
Yeah. Anyway, as you guys are heading in, Kel, you actually rolled twice by accident. Kel and Iska, you notice some strange markings right at the throat of the ravine. You can't quite make them out. Both of y'all do me a history check. Iska with advantage. Wow, look at you guys. Iska, you've seen these markings before when you have talked and roomed with Celia.
Interesting. I'll flag Celia over then. Celia, there's something over here. Would you mind taking a look real quick?
Okay.
Yeah, Iska points it out. It is Thieves' Cant. On one side of the entrance, and Thieves' Cant says, "The trail is safe," said the liar. And on the other side says, "Leave the path to consequence dire."
She will translate that for everybody. I'm guessing the trail isn't safe.
So yeah, you guys.
Path to consequence dire, though. Is that what it said?
Leave the path to consequence dire.
So that would basically mean this path is safer than if we take another path. Which, considering it's not safe, just leaves us.
Well, so the path
Who's
is
on
safe,
first?
says the liar. So the path is unsafe, but then
Right.
you leave the path and there's consequence dire. So
Unless the liar's saying the entire sentence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Did you guys continue on?
I don't think we really have a choice.
Yeah, we really don't have a choice. If we leave this path, then we're worse off than we are now. So, Celia will just tell everybody to have their weapons at the ready. So that if we come across something that wishes us harm, we can be ready for it. And kind of, like, she would make sure everybody knows to, like, kind of keep watch. Stealth.
Okay. So you guys want to stealth down this first path? It is going to slow you down. And you do
How do we stealth with our mounts?
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
Yeah,
All the stealth rolls would be at disadvantage.
It's like a Scooby-Doo
Except for
cartoon where they're
mine.
all on tiptoes.
Mine would be even.
So anyway, as you guys, sounds like you are going to continue forward, but with a wariness about you. You guys see that the walls of the ravine have been basically scoured clean up to about 10 feet in height from where the rushing water and debris of this flash flood that came through 2 days ago just pretty much wiped everything up to almost a 10-foot level off of either side of this ravine. It's now just sort of a quick stream that sort of winds from wall to wall around the sandbars and boulders that have sort of either fallen down into here or sort of washed into place. This first section of it, you can see descends fairly steeply, and it goes on. I mean, if you're looking ahead, I mean, as you can see that it goes down at this sort of rate with not much change in its dimension, probably for about, maybe a quarter mile, half mile or so. Do me a favor and just give me some animal handling as you pick your way down this first portion.
Nope.
That mule a little too quick for you?
Apparently.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are pack animals. So we're going to do it.
And
as a group
I wanted to
check.
say I was
Yeah.
going to assist Luck since I'm riding with him.
Yeah, I'm always assuming that you're assisting Luck when we're doing animal handling.
Should I roll myself or no?
It gives him advantage.
Oh.
Yeah. So luckily these are pack animals, so they sort of do follow each other, but they are a little bit not as sure of foot. It seems as though maybe the terrain here, certainly having been washed up and churned up, is not as solid as it once was. After about almost an hour trying to get down this sort of steeper section. You do come to a place where it all kind of flattens out here at the bottom, and runs between these two very steep walls. Tell me a little bit about how you guys are going to navigate through this section. You all going to follow the stream, or are you going to go across sort of these sandbars that have formed? There's also some like little ledges that certainly some of your mounts would be able to maneuver on, sort of up a little bit, between 5 and 10 feet up the ravine. What are you guys thinking of how you're going to make it down this way?
Are there toads in the water?
Do me a perception check.
Good call, dude.
What if you roll terribly?
You don't see any.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the mask on, just because looking at the ravine and how high the sides are up, it looks like a really nice place for an ambush, to be honest. Just so I could try and get an overhead view 200 feet up and 200 feet out from where we are.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pat Kent and make him follow. Basically, just give him the command of follow the others.
Okay. And we'll say with your animal handling check, he does. From 200 feet up, you can just sort of you can look down into the ravine that you guys are in. It is about, at this area, it's probably about 45 feet wide or so. And I've actually got you all in the wrong picture. We should still be back on here. It's still about 45 feet wide in this area before it narrows down. You can see up ahead. Just go with me. Anyway, it is still fairly wide in this area. So you can see down. You're from the above. You're not able to really tell much about this. You can see the top ledges. There is brush up there. Because you're just looking straight down, certainly things could hide in the brush, but there's nothing that you're able to see up at that, looking down into this. What's everyone else's plan? Are you for traversing down here?
If the ledges are a possibility, with her agility and everything, Charlotte will probably... I'll try to take Charlotte along the ledge. Just so we can have like a little bit of a higher, because the ledges are what, like 10 feet off the ground, you said?
Yeah, between 5 and 10 feet. They are fairly narrow. There's, it's for Charlotte to navigate, because she's sort of a wider creature. She's going to be sort of wall crawling on a lot of this. So you will be needing, you'll quickly realize that you're going to be needing to hold on a lot. So for this first sort of traverse to see how you do, go ahead and give me an athletics check as you try to hold on as Charlotte, you sort of guide her up the wall.
Okay. If it helps at all, and this doesn't have to be any mechanic help, but I just want to use the whip's rope ability to kind of like tie around her and almost fasten this like harness for Iska.
Okay.
Just to like keep her on. You said an athletics, right?
Yep, athletics.
Sure. Where is my character sheet? There we go.
I'll give you advantage with the harnessing you're doing, since you're being smart about it. On a 15, yeah, you're able to stay on. You are sort of riding at anywhere sometimes between a 45 and a 90 degree slant down this wall. And I'm not sure if it's going to do a whole lot for your perception, mainly because now that you're on the wall, in the way that this curves around, sometimes you have a good view, sometimes you have a worse view.
It does nothing for tactical perception, but Iska's having a hell of a time.
Yeah, so you're up riding sideways on a spider down a canyon. Anyone else with something unique, or just barreling through, or following the stream, or leaping sandbar to sandbar?
I'll be doing the leaping from sandbar to sandbar, because the image is wonderful in my head.
Okay. So, yeah, do me a survival check to see if you spotting a good pathway to do this, and then animal handling to get mighty.
With Kel helping
follows.
him.
Yep.
Yeah,
For both.
thinking
Yep,
that
so advantage on
I could go
both.
by Sandbars as well. Just to
Along
avoid
with-
the water.
So yeah, you're able to. You seem to spot a fairly good way. Now give me an animal handling, and you do get advantage on that. And yeah, you guys sort of hop your way along, sandbar to sandbar. With Axel, you're following along behind with your Drake. With them leading the way, we can say you're just following in their pathway, so you don't have to sort of pick a path yourself. If you're just following along, your Drake is making fairly good time. What's Carrot up to? And Carrot and Kent.
Luna is not good with this animal. She is not going to try anything fancy. We're just going to follow the stream.
Okay. So go ahead and give me survival and then animal handling for sort of following the stream, using it as your road. Okay.
Better with the animal.
Yeah, I mean, as you're going, you do a couple times. Carrot does sort of seem to slip as you lead Carrot into places that your Carrot's going exactly where you want Carrot to go. Unfortunately, sometimes you're steering Carrot into not the best places where there's sort of hidden pools or whatever. So you end up getting wet. It's you, so it's not like you're probably for you.
She's fine with that. Whatever.
You're fine. How about our Chocobo and Kent?
I want to ride my Chocobo all day.
So
Certainly with big feet and long legs, your choice.
yeah, Chocobos have pretty long legs, so Celia can get away with following the stream, and she's going to try and guide the Chocobo. She's going to pull some Chocobo food from her pack, put it on a string, and just like hold it in front of him.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a survival check and then give me that animal handling.
Survival 21.
Yep, you're able to plot, easily see down into the stream from your sort of heightened position and with your roguish eyes, spot where any little sippy holes or missteps, and then let's see if you're able to actually get your animal to avoid them.
I'm gonna use an advantage.
Okay. With a
I'm
22.
happy I used the advantage.
Oh yeah. So with 22, yeah, you a couple times the Chocobo was kind of going the wrong way, and you with your carrot on not really carrot or whatever Chocobo bundle of stuff,
Green.
corn on a stick, you are able to lead the Chocobo the right way. Luck, as you go leaping side to side, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Old luck, new luck. Old luck, new luck.
As you are going from side to side, you spot some herbs, some interesting looking lichens growing on the stone faces. They are sort of deep red and are sort of almost look like aloe. I mean, what an aloe plant looks like. They're sort of succulents like that, and they definitely seem as though they might have some type of medicinal purposes.
Cal, I'm just going to grab these.
As you reach out and grab them, you get a sort of chuff and a little bit of a growl from Grain.
It's all right, boy. It's all right. It's just they're useful.
I don't think we've got you with an herb. Do you have an herbalism kit? Do a check.
I have a kit.
Yep. To harvest. Do me a check to harvest these.
Kel has one, and Kel is with him.
Yep.
So can I assist with my...
We'll say between the two of you, you can have advantage on this harvesting.
22. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah, you're able to... It's a bit tricky to get it to come off, and you realize that if you cut it in the wrong place, that basically whatever type of substance, again, like aloe, would start to sort of seep out, but you're able to keep these almost without popping, and keep these sort of tendrils in place. Are fully medicinal. They don't lose their efficacy. However you say it, whatever.
Efficacy.
Because of bad harvesting. The day passes pretty much in the same way. This portion of the ravine just sort of winds forward. Everyone do me perception checks. If you guys are using nat 20s, please whisper it to me.
Still hungry.
One, two, three, 4, 5.
And Kel is continuing to keep an eye on the weather as well.
Okay. So Iska and Iskrin, as you guys are winding down this pathway, you are seeing all sorts of different debris that has lodged itself in different places. Some places you are finding just what looks like driftwood and stuff. Others you seem to see more pieces of flotsam and jetsam from civilization or campsites. Iska, from up on your spider leaning sideways, probably would have totally missed it had you not been in this location. You see wedged on this ledge, sort of underneath of a rock, but down below where the flood line was, what looks like a scroll case that you are able to pick up if you'd like.
Yeah, am I near it, or is it further away, like just closer to someone on the grounds?
Though, literally, it's as you are all but passing over it. But when you spot it and are able to, could all but kind of lean over and do the one-handed snag of it as Charlotte passes over it.
Sure. Yeah, she reaches out and grabs the thing.
And you see, you open it up, or?
Yeah, sure. I kind of carefully try to open it up without getting it wet or dropping it or anything.
Yeah, you see within it a scroll. It's actually labeled in common, above all the arcane symbols, for Cloud of Daggers. And Iskrin, as Kent is going down here, he catches wind of what looks like sort of a kind of maybe badger, antelope, and he goes hopping over to, this is well tenderized, bloody, and been soaking in water for a while. It is perfect for a Caragor. As you get closer, you realize that it is it's like a small donkey, and as he starts digging into it, you see a small backpack that sort of like the side packs that were on this small donkey.
I steam out, take the mask off, head over to the packs, and kind of like lean into Kent to try like push him over so he starts eating the other side while I can pick up this side. I just pick the saddlebags up and take a couple steps back so he can feast, and just curiously look through it. Just a travel pack.
Yeah, it's just some basic supplies. There's some rations in there, but you also find a scroll case within there with a scroll of see invisibility labeled in common.
I look at it and just kind of shudder. So just think straight away, oh, I wonder how many Neverwings are in the sky right now.
We're starting to approach sort of lunchtime ish. Do you guys want to, are you all going to stop or just sort of keep on moving? Many of these sandbars are pretty small. You could try to do a survival check to see if you could find some place to sort of be dry enough where y'all can sort of do a, dry rations on the move. It's your call entirely.
Considering that we're all kind of following different paths, I think dry rations on the move would be easiest.
Agreed.
Yeah, I almost think it'd be better to try to find like a solid stretch of land, get past these sandbars and stuff, if we can at all. So
Okay.
we just keep going.
Sounds like you guys are going to just keep on moving.
Yep.
Okay.
Eat jerky or peanuts or something.
Yeah, jerky, peanuts, gorp, all that good stuff. You guys continue down. It's pretty uneventful for the rest of the day. Can I get another set of perception checks unless you guys want to investigate anything specifically?
So you start off good.
Hey, you were good when it mattered.
Basically. Now, you actually haven't been having great perception checks today.
You're hungry.
Just for clarification,
Overall.
or just to get it out of the way, at some point in that, Iska will call down to the rest of the group, but in particular Axel, about the scroll that she found. And at some point, basically hand it off or toss it to Axel.
Yeah.
Because I think Axel's the one who's best suited for scrolls and everything. Who'd want to see it too.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. You guys are able to do that. Luck. On a 19, as you guys are continuing down here, you found a couple more of these plants, but the biggest thing is, as you were over and harvesting one and leaping from place to place, you see on the sort of ravine wall, huge set of claw marks, even bigger than would be 5-finger claw marks, probably even bigger than what would be left by like Axel's guard drake mount, down sort of right across sort of the flood line, and there's sort of like this scrambling set of claws that are embedded deep into the rock.
Hey, Kel, do you see that? Here.
Yeah.
I look up, and does it look like something was trying to escape the flood by climbing up and over?
Do me a survival check. You have advantage because this is an easy, yeah. I mean, it's very much looks as though something fairly strong, fairly large, and with big claws got caught in this flood and was trying to scramble its way out.
Okay, with this knowledge, I'm going to... I've already been trying to keep an eye on the weather, which is up, so I'm going to continue focusing up, factoring in that there may be something large above us
Okay.
that could show back up. Who knows?
Very good.
Smaller things as well might be coming up. Maybe could be a pack of something.
Yeah, and for the most part, you guys continue on. You don't see anything from above. The sky is still very clear at this point, and as it gets late in the day, I need one more. Let's see. Go ahead and give me one more set of perception checks.
Was almost the same exact roll. 19.
Luna, as everyone else sort of is either going side to side down the stream, leaping from sandbar to sandbar. Iska's sort of up on the wall, and you're just sort of going right down the center. You actually sort of have the best perspective ahead. It looks as though the canyon is starting to widen as you go forward. You can sort of see a river, the stream bed sort of bend around to the left, probably just about 100, maybe 200 feet ahead. At one of the points when Carrot makes a little bit of a slip and you're held up, Axel on his guard mount leaps across in front of you, and you see a flash of his black hand.
Axel.
Yes?
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Show me your hand, Axel.
Oh.
Yeah, Axel, you're just noticing it.
I didn't feel as tired, so I didn't. Yeah. One of many said it might be. Well, he said might be a reoccurring effect. So it restarts every morning, and it doesn't get killed by a spell. The effect does, but the surge sticks around because I think Iska said she saw the device, the power, so sort of still there. I think, but I don't actually. This time yesterday I was far more tired. It didn't feel so bad. I mean, it's about the same condition. I was keeping track because it's hard, but it's fascinating as well. It's like because it doesn't feel any different. It just looks terrible.
We need to get moving.
Yeah.
You guys continue on forward, and you see the ravine widens out into sort of a large, sort of open basin. The stream sort of winds around and turns to the left, where you see it go down to a very narrow slot canyon. If you sort of came in this area at around, call it on a clock, if you were looking down at it, so actually Iskrin is looking down on it, you basically come in at 6 o'clock. Iskrin, from the air, the slot canyon is so narrow you didn't even notice that it was there. It leaves at probably about 11 o'clock, and the stream bed sort of winds around that way. But there is a fairly stable-looking sandbar almost directly ahead of you, sort of where all the debris and any of the gravel and everything else sort of builds up against that wall because the stream takes this hard left turn. There is quite a bit of flood debris there. It's probably around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening now. The temperature is beginning to drop, and a lot of the canyon is now in shadow as the sun has sort of passed over the edges. What do you guys want to? Do you want to try keep going down the slot canyon through the night, or you want to camp here?
I think due to the fact that we don't know what lies ahead with terrain, we should not proceed in the dark. And we should camp here on this sidebar till morning.
Agreed. It's not a plan.
Sounds good.
Alright. Sounds alright.
Okay.
Got a few more hours.
So you guys can make camp here. Do you have any specific things? You do have a little bit of daylight left before night comes on. Certainly could turn in early so you could be up with first light in the morning. Anything specific you guys want to do? Conversations you'd like to have?
Yeah, not conversationally, but Luna is going to actually pull out the doll. Like, she's basically going to be using the doll to, like, model outfit she plans to do for Iska. So she's going to, like, be making a little... So she's going to start making a little hat for it, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Kel, do me a perception check. You see the doll and it's in Luna's hand, and you recognize it. You recognize it from your last vision of Talarian. The vision began inside of a tent with a woman and a young girl before you destroyed the settlers' village. That young girl was holding this doll.
Kel will go over to Luna. Luna,
Yeah.
where did you get that doll?
It was entrusted to me by Dustin.
And do you know where he got it?
It was his daughter was the original owner of this doll.
Was?
He was his wife gave birth to an Air Genasi child. They, after their town moved to a new area to settle, it was destroyed not long after. The child was blamed and taken care of.
I see. He must have thought a great deal of you to have entrusted it to you.
Apparently, I can only do my best. to live up to that expectation. Have you seen one like this before?
Not personally, no. Thank you for sharing the information. And Kel will turn to go and do what he had planned to do, which was to see if he could forage and find some small game animals to help feed the mouse.
Luna is confused, but doesn't pursue, goes back to making the hat.
Okay. You can do a survival check, Kel.
Wow.
Yeah. You're able to find...
He's very, very focused on his task right now.
Yeah.
To the exclusion of all else.
Yeah, in that just tunnel, you are able to find, again, this flood was pretty devastating. You are able to find not huge things, but you are able to find certainly some smaller animals, some, even if it's rabbits or whatever, you've sort of gotten the bead on this flood and how it sort of moved and where heavier things or lighter things ended up, and almost in a grouping, there are quite a few different sort of small to small, medium-sized different animals that you can get and pull together for the mounts. As far as for the herbivores, there is vegetation growing down here, some vines and stuff. Not great pickings for them, but it's not like the grass. There's no grass growing here, but there are some different vegetation that is from hanging down off of vines and sort of creepers that have creeped down into this sort of basin. Iska, you notice Charlotte as you sort of dismount her and get your sort of rope harness off of her, seems to wander right over to the entrance of the slot canyon, and you see her sort of spiral mouth, little straw like a butterfly sort of unfurls and begins to sort of probe into the rocks on the sort of left side of the entrance of the slot canyon.
Is Ishkrin anywhere nearby?
Can be.
You look around, you see he's got one of his mental covered daggers out, and he seems to be just carving into the stone some sort of circle of some kind. He's chipping away, making something that you could only guess is similar to his light tattoos.
Huh.
He's carving in a heart that says Silver in his screen.
It just says Ish was here.
Iska will call out to Ishkrin. Not interrupt him, but just Ishkrin, when you get a sec, can you come over here?
Just puts the dagger back away underneath the mantle and walks on over.
She's feeding on something. Did you see anything? Is there anything drawing her here in particular? Basically, Iska's asking, what about these things draw Charlotte here?
Yeah, without any hesitation, Iskrin's able to identify that here it seems as though the sort of left side of the entrance to the slot canyon is Sylvanstone. Raw, not polished, just is Sylvanstone. And it seems as though Charlotte is sort of feeding off of the magics that you've seen that can be contained within Sylvanstone.
It's Sylvanstone. It's raw, it's uncut. I head over to it and I put my hands on the stone itself, lick it, put my ear against it, tap it.
Yeah, it's Sylvanstone. Different from what you experienced, and it doesn't have sort of the density of magic in it of some of the stuff that you found in East, but it absolutely has those same sort of quartz-like structures that you find in granite that have now been sort of infused, or are now sort of crystal magic in these veins. Again, sparser than you've seen before, but definitely there.
This is... wow. And he's just going to keep his dagger out and try to pull out an empty potion vial he's had and just start trying to scrape in some dust from the some rock from the Sylvanstone.
Yeah, a lot of it is just sort of dust and stone. You get maybe one or two small little tiny crystals that sparkle just a little, but not much more than that. There's also a lot of, like I said, moss and lichen here that you're getting a lot of as well.
I turn to Iska and say, if the Sylvanstone is here, then maybe this will lead us to the Sylvan Expanse. Maybe through here might be further enough away and safe enough for magic at least. So, don't trust me on that.
Well, I hope you're right, for both of our sakes. Let us know as soon as it's cleared up, Ishgrin, and please let me around. Make sure I'm nearby when you do your first poof in quite some time. I almost missed your glitter rain at this point.
Iska, I'll make you a promise. When it's safe again, you'll be the first one to teleport.
She kind of squeezed a little bit. I think she's missed that excitement when she's not being teleported up into the Netherwings, but...
He says, yeah, I'm not going to send you up into the Netherwings. Maybe we might teleport to the top of the gorge, but that's about it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Be a good view from up there. I then go and get Kent and lead him over and try to get him to lick the Sylvanstone because he just licks me all the time.
Yeah, not interested. He just ends up licking you and then raises his nose in the air and, Kel, who has been the person who keeps actually feeding him raw, nice, good food, he kind of suddenly gets, fresh blood, Kel doing some butchering and charges over to him. Anything else folks are up to in the evening hours?
Question is, does the library box work?
Yes. In fact, actually, wait, no. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, no. There's no library box. He's just gonna sort of settle down early, and looking something back. And he's sitting down and he's noting down the exact experience that he's gone through with the whole hand effect and the last two, which he has kind of already done. And just describe it out so he has a sort of a record of what's going on to it. And then he's going to settle down and study the life rune and figure out why that one branch seemed to stick out to him.
Ooh, okay. Do me because you've already done one investigation of this, do me an Arcana check with advantage. Didn't even need it. As you study it, about a couple hours pass. Other folks are going about their business around the campfire, but you're able to sort of find a sort of quieter place and are able to really start to concentrate on it. And you see a bit how sometimes preconceptions can lead you in the wrong direction. And as you look further into the life rune, you start to make connections. You start to figure out sort of how it interweaves with things that both you know and have already learned and your own experience. One of the things Gwilyn Fura said was that the runes are but a reflection of the person, that they shape each other. And after a bit of time, suddenly it all just sort of clicks for you. And you unlock the first part of the life rune. I'll let you describe how you come to the realization, it should be in your handouts now, of what it does.
You see that evil smile? Totally a lich.
That wasn't evil. That was excited.
It's
It
called
can
the
be
life
both.
room. How bad can it be?
Power over life? Yeah, no. How bad could that be?
So, he spends pretty much since the camp was set up until now, sort of just. Actually, no, he doesn't have the time for that. Yeah.
We can make, I mean, what do you pitch it?
Yeah. So he's sort of settling down. Had this leaf here, the branch there, and sort of going over, the meaning of life. 42, obviously, and just sort of going over particularly something, after the death rune, the whole sense of his mortality, and how to work against that. And he's sort of reverse engineering death. And he sort of goes through into the other direction in terms of, wait, if I turn it around like this, if it's a cycle, and then he sort of, it does a lot of, puts in more maths than he needs to, more sort of arcane algebra and geometrics that he needs to, but that's how, he functions, and he gets this point where, now I have the number. And he reaches out to that branch and sort of just, because it's just a single branch with kind of his, and he sort of trims off some of the stuff to make it look like it, and sort of dig it into the sand, so it's standing up vertically with a little bunch of green up there and then two little sticks like arms. Tilts his head and smiles as he sees the start, sort of a piece of life fall into place. And for the next 2 hours, he's going to work on scribing a rune onto this small little branch. But
So, yeah, we'll come back to you. What's everybody else doing
Yeah.
while Axel's at work over here with his little experiment?
Hat's looking super good. Veiled and everything.
Okay. No one else?
I mean, how late in the evening is this? Is this
Like I
after
said,
we've eaten?
it was about
or-
4 or 5 o'clock when y'all first stopped. Setting up camp, y'all did about 30 minutes. You did your
foraging.
Actually, this time it was scavenging around only about 30 minutes. So I'd say y'all were done with those activities by 5. So we'd say Axel's been working for a couple hours over there studying. So I'd say it's about 7 o'clock. So people either Luck's sort of doing it as people get hungry. He's got a fire going, probably something warm because y'all have been sort of in and out of water. It is again another chilly night. So sort of eat at your leisure type idea, I would think.
Kel will kind of wait until people have eaten and it's getting a little later. If what's going on with Axel needs to happen before that, that's fine. He is waiting until people are like not getting ready to go to bed, but fairly later.
Okay.
To do something.
Okay. Well, so Axel, I mean, so yeah, go. Axel Templar, you going all the? You gonna do the whole thing?
I think he's gonna wait until
You're gonna do the thing. You're gonna do the thing.
if everyone's asleep, except for whoever's on watch. He's gonna, unless somebody stays up, he's gonna sort of wait until everyone's sort of gone to sleep.
Okay.
In
we'll
which,
from where he's done, or an hour or so, yeah.
okay. So we'll let.
in
Kel
which case, Kel will go to Iska and ask Iska, would you mind taking a walk with me?
I'd love to, Cal.
So I'm just going to walk a ways from the camp. Not too far, but looking for a spot that's far enough out of earshot, but not too far away.
Yeah, I mean, this basin sort of open area is probably about 100 feet or so across. So I mean, you could all but go back to where you first entered into the canyon. Certainly, the little stream running through gives some white noise that would cover conversation much further away than 30 or 40 feet.
And someplace to sit.
Easily driftwood or something else.
I mean, Kel doesn't care, but someplace comfortable for Iska to sit.
Yeah.
And he pauses for a longer moment than seems comfortable. I need to say this to somebody. And I feel you're the best person I can say this to.
What's going on, Cal?
I think I know the reason for my brother's anger towards me. At least part of it.
What happens? What do you think's going on?
Back in the Vice, I had a vision of the last thing my brother was thinking of. That fueled his becoming this revenant. The doll that Luna has. That she told me Dustin gave her. That belonged to his daughter.
Lily.
Lily. I saw from his perspective something that happened that I was responsible for. When I was back in my forest, it's been, 2 years at least, I think. I found out that there was a group of human settlers that were starting to come into our forest to chop down trees, to kill what they saw as dangerous predators, but what I knew to be friends. I went to confront them and tell them that they did not belong there and they had no right to be doing what they were doing. They refused to leave and wouldn't listen to me. There was one bear in particular that lived in the area that I had known. They had killed her for protecting her children. And so I said, if you will not go peaceably, then I will make you go. And I did. This apparently was the settlement where Dustin and his family had moved to. I hadn't seen my brother in 5 years, more. We had traveled together always. But eventually, we had one too many arguments. He kept trying to treat me like he was my father and not my brother. But apparently in that time, he must have met these settlers and become their friends. I don't regret what I did, and I would do it again. And the brother that I knew before we parted would have joined me in protecting our home. But because of what I did, from what Luna tells me, his daughter was blamed. As it seems, Genasi tend to be perpetually blamed indiscriminately. For things they never did. And that is what fueled my brother's anger. And because of, and he holds up his finger, these cursed rings turned his anger towards me.
She looks at Kel and I think hones in on his tattoos, and I don't think she means to say it out loud, but she ends up saying, like, you know, connecting the dots in her head to the story she heard from Dustin, and just kind of whispers, like, in peace with the devil's markings. And it's all coming together of everything.
The devil's markings?
The villager's story told of a demon coming from the woods covered in what they thought were devil's markings. It was just you. It was just you and your tattoos. Kel.
And it's why my bear, that part of my soul, has been ripped out of me by my brother.
There is a moment of pause as Iska tries to figure out what even to do or say at this moment. There's a lot of feelings going through her head. But she breathes in and looks to Kel. Kel, I'm sure you know this, but just so you hear it from me, you're not responsible for the superstitions in this world, or the fear of men in this world. Their cowardice, their irrationality, and their cruelty. You didn't know. And you're here now.
Why do they have to be so destructive?
They're afraid, Kel.
So hateful. You wonder why I don't like to go into cities. You wonder why I don't like to be around people. People like that who have no regard for anything but themselves.
They don't understand, Cal.
They don't want to understand.
So we make
I tried to explain, and they didn't want to understand, and they refused to understand. So I did what I had to do.
And unfortunately, Cal, there will always be people who don't understand, always be people who don't want to learn. And the best I've got is we change as much as we can, as many people as we can. Where we are now, what we're doing now, that's for the good of the world. That's why we do this now. Anything that happened before, even Lily, that's done.
But it's not done. And he holds up the pouch. Because it lives on in my brother's anger right here. How do I fix that? How do I fix him?
Luck God fixed his curse. Celia fixed hers. Kel, I don't know I don't know the answer. We are going to find it with you. Whatever lies ahead, whatever is in Falcon's Crest, whatever the answer to your curse is, it's out there. And we are going to find it. Whatever's happening to you now, as angry as your brother is, this is not the life you deserve. This is not a punishment you deserve. And it's one that we are going to fix.
It's not the life my brother deserves either.
You're right. Anger and fear, once again. We will find what we need to cure you, to cure him. Anger and fear are strong, but they're not eternal. At least they don't have to be. She doesn't touch Cal, but just extends a hand in like the middle ground between the two of them. They don't have to be.
Kel reaches out and takes her hand.
And she squeezes it tight.
Kel squeezes tighter and says, "There's a spirit in you that reminds me so much of somebody that I haven't seen in a very long time and miss very dearly. Thank you. Thank you."
She brings him in for a hug.
He lets her.
It's so hard not to be alone sometimes that we forget we need people. We forget we need each other. And she squeezes him as tightly as she can.
And Kel holds on to her as long as she lets him.
Our focus shifts back over to the camp. This conversation between Iska and Kel has gone late into the night. Buck and Luna and Iskren have gone to bed. Celia taking her normal first watch. And Axel awake on that cusp between light and shadow made by the campfire, continues with his work. Axel, I turn it to you.
It's just sort of sitting there. He has a small little branch sort of dug into the sand on it by its stem. Goes up. There's two little sticks poking out. He's trimmed them off into hands. And then on the top, there's a little head of spines to make up a green little head of hair. beneath that broad smile, it's carved into the bark and 2 eyes. And 2 eyes are actually, he's picked up a couple of rocks and sort of set them in there. And sort of on its chest, well, where its chest would be between the arms, there's a single rune carved in there. It's been sitting there for 10 minutes, watching. Reaches out, taps the rune, and shines, first golden, then sort of drifts to white, then to a green, before it settles in the limbs of the creature, of this little stick, shift and droop slightly, as if they're no longer sticks, they are limbs, tendrils, head twists, the mouth carved in there moves as this little stick golem is brought to life. As he looks down, he reaches out with his decayed hand. It reaches out and grips onto his finger. Hello, I'm your daddy. And he starts crying as he's been very good at bringing death and destruction, and now life.
And that's where we're going to end today's session. Whew. Thank you, everyone, for turning in to the Vice this week. Wow. So let's go around and talk to our cast, and let's hear it for Iska, for Bird vs. Plane and Toonarth, and for Templar as well. Oh man, guys, and we'll get to you guys as we go around, but let's start off with Tree Hugging Druid. With her new shark necklace, her new tooth necklace, shark tooth necklace.
Oh, it's so cute. Yeah, I'm Dragon Druid. You can go follow me on Twitter. I don't really tweet things, but I retweet whenever people are playing D&D. My Friday games. I will be back at some point. We are talking characters creation right now because my other one died. So, but I know what kind of character I'm going to make. You can go see the commission that Wild Kate did. I retweeted her picture the other day. It looks amazing. She is an ASMR Celestial Warlock, and I love her. Also, plug for Wild Kate. She's amazing.
Absolutely. Next up, Dragons or Cats?
Hello, I am Dragons or Cats. Sorry I haven't been too deeply involved in tonight's game, but oh my god, guys, that was incredible. And I love you both. I love you all. That was incredible. You can find me on the interwebs as Dragons or Cats. And I do a charity stream on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time as of next week. And yeah, this was grand. And next week I won't be out in the middle of nowhere in a dingy hotel using 30 gigs of data off my phone.
Wow. Oh, thank you, Kyle.
It's okay. I upgraded my phone plan. I've got 200 gigabyte now. So I'm
nice.
happy. Cheers.
Thank you so much for making the effort. I know you were out at work and in the middle of nowhere. We really do appreciate it.
Please, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Next up, we have Templar Warden. Oh,
That was. I didn't know how I was gonna, like, Cal Iskaz, and it's like, yeah, what do I do now? It's kind of, but when I first saw this ability, you saw my smile. I was like, this is perfect. And yeah, now Axel has a little group, at least for a little while. It's adorable. But yeah, so I'm Templar Warden. I was playing Hidden by Axel. You may catch me pretty much anywhere on the internet as Templar Warden, or on Twitter at Rainer Templar, if you're so interested. And you may catch me here next week as well. We're playing next week. I don't know, but you may catch me here weekly.
next up, we have Bird versus Plane. Dude, you guys, y'all would have so many 100 XPs would have been given out today.
Oh, I love the Vice so much. I look forward to sad RP as much as I look forward to happy combat and action and everything. So that was a lot of fun. Big shout out at the end there, yeah. Danny and Templar brought it. Everyone brings it every week. This cast rules so much. Thanks, everybody. You can find me on Twitter at Bird vs. Plane, and also on Twitch, where I do charity streams. Currently going through Monster Hunter right now, starting Prey this week. So check it out.
Nice. Next up, we have Alicia, NNG9.
Hello, I'm NNG9 on Twitch, where I live stream video games and swear a whole bunch. You can find me on Twitter, NNG98, where I live tweet random stuff one of the week when I remember to do so. I am also a player of T. Fredericton's 80s Friday game at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and Sunday game at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, F for the Power Within, where I'm a player with Tunar. We play completely different characters. My character's sometimes on fire. Tune in for context. As far as this session goes, Tree Army confirmed, and Kel is now wearing a hashtag No Regrets t-shirt. Thank you.
Good Guy Pie.
Well, first thing, I will be forwarding my lawyers to you later, Templar. This is a deep concern, and I think you're bordering copyright. So, yep. The Book of Marvelous Marvin's Races is not happy on this. We are going to have deep talks. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. This is what I come here for. And I won't be here all next week because I've got a birthday party, which is my own.
I know, again. You're getting so old, Good Guy. I mean, we're just,
God, I'm 18 now.
Can we not? Can we just not? How about we don't?
Back page.
Birthday next week too?
Oh, yeah. There's
Might as well.
It's like he's all grown up and
Sunday?
getting his driver's license.
No, it's 27. 27. I know. I'm sad we're not birthday buddies.
Yeah, that would be so weird and amazing.
Anyway, find me as Good Guy Pie on anywhere, and Too Good To Guy on the Twitters, and go check out the art I recently did, because how do you deal with emotional trauma? You put it in art.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, where can we find that art again? There's a place we can find this?
Oh,
Hashtag.
yes, on the Discord. And also on the hashtag of Art of the Vice. If you like that lovely art that many people have done, and I believe we have some wonderful little pieces here and now of scenes, and even the so-spoken Lily.
Yep.
You can find all there with that little hashtag, and of course you can find a lot of it on our Discord, which you should totally check out because it's nice when we have people there and I can bother people with things and stuff.
And so just putting it out there, art of 1,000 teeth. I'm just saying, try to make this kid a tabaxi covered in teeth look cute and innocent. Good luck. And Danny. Oh, Danny.
So I'm Tunarth in chat. I'm Colin65 on Twitter. I'm here for this, which hopefully you've enjoyed today. I am here when we do it for Dungeons and Coffee Sunday mornings. Are we having Dungeons and Coffee?
We're actually not, because I was able to work out to finally get to the Ren Fair that I've been trying to get to and not been able to because of all my different things. So I'm like getting up at 7 tomorrow morning to drive over to Tampa to get to the Ren Fair, so I can actually go and hopefully find Ford armor for me for Gen Con.
So if we were having Dungeons and Coffees tomorrow, it would be 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, but we're not. So hopefully the next week, where we discuss the previous undiscussed episodes of The Vice and go off on various Dungeons and Dragons and other tangents. So it's always an interesting discussion. And then, as NNG9 mentioned, I am also in T. Fredrickson 80's Sunday afternoon campaign, 2 p.m. Eastern, where I play a very different character, Koltash Karn, the half-orc paladin, who has brand new art by Wowcade, who is amazing, and which I retweeted recently, but go check her out, and she's fantastic. And also, if you have tuned in to Dungeons and Coffees, you have no doubt heard the music loop that plays, which is music that has been written for and inspired by The Vice by me. And I have now a YouTube playlist. If you want to go hear it just by itself, have a listen. It's not that bad. And What?
Diva.
Bye, Tunars.
Anyway, and yeah, so just another layer of emotional trauma for poor Kel this week to add on top of everything else. Woohoo. And we'll see how that plays out. Tune in next week, same bad time, same bad channel.
Yeah,
Oh, you're not going to say it this time. Okay.
Oh, yes, and Claudia's brother's a dick.
There we
There
go.
we go. Yeah, no, I was thinking we definitely will go hit Unmade Gaming on his Extra Life charity stream as well, where we will be rating. But until we sign off, I am Tall Squall. We are here every Saturday, or as often as we can be. We do have a few cancellations coming up. Late April, the 23rd, I think it is.
Last weekend.
Yeah, that last weekend in April, we're going to be, I guess the 28th, I'm sorry. 28th of April, we actually are going to cancel because basically everyone is out. But other than that, we try to always be here to tell you all a story. And I told them this week, and I'll tell them here live in front of everybody again, I just cannot even believe that I have had the luck to have 7 people who are making this story come to life in a way that I could never have dreamed or imagined. And you guys are making my dream come true. So thank you to all of my cast. Thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you for all the good you all are spreading in the world with all of the charity money that you have donated and that we've been able to pass on to the different charities around the world. So thank you guys. And until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story, because that's what it's all about. You all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.